One of the important aspect of finding a sustainable house is walkable community. For example, a community where you can walk to the necessary services like school, shops, or clinics, these sort of important services which you need in your daily routine. So this is one of community where I stay, and I have my son's school which is walkable. Then there is really amazing place here where these walkways are there and it's shaded by trees. And there are many such communities in UAE where you can find your sustainable rental property. Another advantage of walkable communities is basically you end up walking more, and you try to be more healthy. Your regular routine involves walking and physical activity, which helps you for becoming more healthy and happy, because it's proved by researchers that when you are being more active, you are more happy. Your happiness is directly proportional to your activity level. So this is one of the one more advantage of walkable community and finding a sustainable home for you where you can walk and you could be more healthy. So in walkable communities, it's very essential for UAE that these walkways or paths where people are walking needs to be shaded or covered, so that we can use the walkways and we can walk throughout the year. Because of the heat and the summer months, longer summer months, we need to have the shaded walkways. And this is how you can see that in this community the walkways are all shaded by the trees, or they are situated in such a way between buildings where it's getting shade of other buildings. So these are one of the things we need to look into when we are selecting our sustainable home. One of the factor of finding a sustainable property is having your own private outdoor space. As you can see in UAE, you can either have a home where you have your own private outdoor space, or a balcony like this one, where you can have your own very little private outdoor space, but which can give you outdoor connection, the connection to the atmosphere, connection to the surrounding nature. So that is one more important thing when you are looking for a sustainable home in UAE.
When selecting a residential property, always prefer a home which has more daylight and views to the outdoors, because the daylight and views actually impact our wellness. How? So basically, the exposure to natural light will help improving circadian rhythm and improving sleep patterns. Also, when we have views and connection to the outdoors through views, it actually helps reducing stress, reducing strain on eyes or headache. So overall, having more daylight and more views to the outdoors helps the occupant health. Another advantage of brightly lit home is you don't have to switch on lights during the day. So that way you end up saving energy, reducing your electricity bills and reducing your carbon footprint. When we are saying the daylight and views improves wellness and reduces your light bill, at the same time we have to be mindful that in places like the UAE, the same windows can bring more heat indoors and increases your air conditioning bill and your electricity bill and your carbon emission. So what is the solution? So select a property with windows or facade which is directed towards north or facing north. So the windows and doors facing north will bring in more daylight and views, but will not bring more heat as compared to other directions. So you can have best of the both. You can still have your daylight and views, but you will have lesser air conditioning bill. Another factor to consider when selecting a sustainable residential property is always have a smaller house. Basically, try not to have house with extra rooms which might not be used throughout the year. So the house enough for you and your family, which can be easily manageable by you. Because having extra rooms will also end up increasing your energy and water bills. You will have to keep them clean, maintain them, and that is unnecessary wastage of resources in terms of environment. And for your personal convenience, you might end up putting more efforts to maintain a larger house. Instead of that, you could have a good enough size house for you and your family, and you can have your carbon footprint in control. Another smaller factor, but significant in a way, I would say, consider a property or let's say if it is apartment closer to stairs and ramps, because having this accessibility to stairs and ramps will increase your physical movement. You will take more stairs instead of a lift. Then you will be also more independent if you have ramps nearby. So that is a small factor, but will improve your health. Moreover, the fact is, if most of the occupants in a building start using more stairs instead of lift, collectively they will actually save significant amount of energy which is used for lifts and elevators. So this is a very good community factor or community habit to improve energy saving of a building, let's say. Indoor air quality is one of the most significant parameter for finding a residential property. So in the places like UAE, where people mostly spend their time indoors during longer summer months, and air conditioning basically recirculate the same air again and again with little bit of fresh air added. If the air inside the house gets polluted, basically the same polluted air is recirculated again and again. That's why it's essential to find a home where there is no air pollution. Now, how that air pollution can happen? One of the reasons could be due to ongoing water leakages, mold and fungus can happen. Because of this, sometimes the occupants or the people living inside such home will have respiratory problems like regular cold and cough or asthma, things like these. There are other pollutants as well, but when you are selecting a residential property, try and see that there is no visible mold and fungus, or air quality is not compromised in a way, the air conditioning is clean, and this is one of a very important health aspect and wellness aspect of finding a sustainable home. You can also find more information and tips about how to improve indoor air quality of your home on sustainabilitytribe.com. And one last tip for finding a sustainable residential property is try and find a place where you can have access to environmental friendly services. You can find such community maybe where there is recycling facility nearby, or you have electric charging point for your electric vehicle, or a place where there might be community farm where you can grow your own food, and that could be a very good aspect. Even having bike tracks or some health activity nearby can add lot of advantage and improve your sustainable living.
And here I am walking in my community with my reusable bag all the time.